I'll just let Dave finish his call. Okay, ready? Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hyde Park Town Board meeting of Monday, July 18th. We have public hearings, workshop, and a regular meeting, but we're starting off with an executive session. So please join me while we pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kind of missed Ken's baritone voice on that, didn't you?
About Ken.
Yeah, but he's working away, so he won't be here tonight. Okay, so may I have a motion first to accept the minutes of the June 20th meeting?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now may I have a motion to enter executive session regarding personnel?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we will be back.
Should have built this a little.
Just a little wider.
Footprint, nice. How are you, Donna?
I'm well, thanks. How about yourself?
All right, doing better.
Good.
read about the bog turtle?
No, this
That's
That's our big endangered, environmental and endangered species in here.
is in here, yeah. This
And
is
the Indiana bat and
Yeah.
what else?
the Atlantic Strait.
The blended, but that's not endangered.
It's New York State.
Yeah, we went to stop the project, the big gravel. North of Northeast. Okay. You know that Route 22?
How do you say that one word?
Which one?
Nunk-sunk?
Nunc pro tunc? Nunc pro tunc?
Wait, did I?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if I'm reading it. or
I
not.
know, just,
You see, they turned. That was our hero.
And there's a little thing before the 108 chapter. 108.
The girls in the office had a picture of
section, wait.
Which is the staggering sense is that, once something's endangered, you have to stop everything.
Okay,
That's not true.
If things,
Yeah.
but if things aren't endangered,
Yeah.
just
Yeah, just
kill all their
until they
habitats.
become endangered.
It's just, it's so silly.
Yeah. And there are things you can do to, like the Indiana bat. I mean, there are ways of,
Reasonable and prudent alternatives.
yeah. Okay.
all right, ready?
High waters.
Okay. May I have a motion to return from executive session?
So moved?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and no decisions were made. Okay, so moving on, we are going to have a couple of revisions to the agenda, and I think it makes sense to just take care of those right now. The first would be to pull resolution number 7, which was to adopt the local law H of 2016, the rural event venues law. And so we are receiving some comments on that, and we'd like the opportunity to revise the law before we adopt it. Seems to make sense. So may I have a motion to pull resolution number 7?
So moved?
And all in favor?
Aye.
And then we're also going to pull item number 5 on the workshop, which is the seeker review of local law H, because we'll conduct the seeker review once we have the law in final form. So a motion to pull that as well?
So moved?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And just to clarify, we're not definitely going to amend the law. We're going to review the comments that came in from DEC and the public
Yeah.
and decide whether amendments or changes to the law are necessary, and if so, we'll reintroduce the amended law at the next meeting.
Sounds good. Not DEC, but DC planning.
I'm sorry, that's just county planning.
Yep. Okay, good. All righty, so we have 2 public hearings. The first is the local law H, rural events venues. So we are going to go ahead and open that public hearing and continue it. So Madam Clerk, might you please read that law?
Please take notice that a public hearing will be held on the adoption of Local Law H of 2016, entitled "A Local Law Amending Chapter 108 of the Town Code to Permit Rural Event Venues" on July 18, 2016 at 7:00 p.m. at the Town of Hyde Park Town Hall, located at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York. This local law would permit rural event venues pursuant to a special use permit in the town's waterfront and greenbelt districts. This has been determined to be a Type 1 action under SEQR, and Town Board is the lead agency for purposes of any environmental review. A copy of the local law will be available for inspection at the office of the town clerk during normal business hours. In addition, a copy of the local law will be posted on the town's official website and on the town's notice board. All persons desiring to be heard on the adoption of said local law will be given the opportunity to do so at the public hearing. By order of the Town Board at the Town of Hyde Park, dated June 9th, 2016, Hyde Park, New York. Donna McGrogan, Town Clerk.
Okay, well, thank you. Would anyone from the public like to come on up and speak on the local law H, the rural event venue law? Okay, as I said earlier, we have received some comments, and so we will be processing those and looking at the law and evaluating the comments. So what I'd like to do is continue the public hearing, so may I have a motion to do that?
So moved?
And a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we also have a public hearing for local law G, the amended zoning map, and I'd like to ask the clerk to please read that public hearing notice.
Please take notice that the Town Board has scheduled a public hearing on the adoption of Local Law G of the year 2016, entitled Adoption of Amended Zoning District Map of the Town of Hyde Park, New York, in accordance with the requirements of Section 108 of the Town Code, for July 18th, 2016, at 7:05 p.m. at the Hyde Park Town Hall located at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York. The purpose of the local law is to adopt an updated official zoning district map for the town of Hyde Park as prepared by the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development and dated June of 2016. A copy of said local law and the revised zoning map are available for inspection at the town clerk's office during normal business hours and is available for review on the town's official website. Any person desiring to be heard on the adoption of said local law at said public hearing shall be given an opportunity to do so. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Hyde Park, dated June 7th, 2016, Hyde Park, New York, Donna McGrogan, Town Clerk.
Thank you, Donna. Would anyone like to speak on the amended zoning map? Okay, so, good. Hello.
Hi.
Please state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Okay, Sharon Perino Bucco, 42 Fuller Lane. I wanted to speak to the amended zoning, but I didn't realize it was the map itself. I thought it meant multiple dwellings in riverfront, and I went out to the website and I thought that's what I read, so I thought it was about multiple dwellings in the green belt and the riverfront.
No, I think you might have merged a number of laws.
Okay. No, Herb told me to go out there and read about it, so I did. So that's why I came. I didn't realize it was on the map itself, and I haven't reviewed the map.
Okay.
So I don't have any comment then.
Just to clarify, we found that there might have been there were some errors in the old zoning map, which didn't conform to the uses and the districts in our current zoning. So all we did was have that map updated. We didn't change anything. We just made sure that the zoning map conformed to our zoning law.
Did I miss the multiple dwelling ones, or is that coming?
That's another one.
That's another one, but that
Okay.
public hearing on,
Close that public hearing.
I think we
Oh.
closed that public hearing.
But we
Okay.
have it on.
For some reason, I had it on my calendar.
Well, no,
for
but that's
tonight.
okay. No problem.
okay.
We closed that public hearing, so you can't speak to it in that format. But it is, we do have it on the agenda. No, we don't.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
adopting it today.
We're adopting it for what would, yes, number 4.
Okay.
So after we close the public comment on the zoning map, you are welcome to speak on that law.
It would really be useless, so that's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it would
Okay.
be pointless at this point.
Yeah, we're happy to hear
Anyway.
your comments, but
What
let me just close the, so you don't want to speak on the,
I don't know
okay.
enough about it.
Okay, so, but stay there. So may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So the next item on our agenda is the public, well, we have a bunch of workshops, but being as you're here, and if you would like to speak on any of the agenda items or any other matter of town business, you can.
Any other matter of town business I do that's not on the agenda, and I wanted to publicly thank my representative, David Ray, and his supervisor for assisting me with my concern on the street light during the course of the winter. And although I don't like my street light, I want to thank you for pursuing it and resolving it. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
That's it.
Oh,
Very well.
Well, thanks, Sharon. Thank
I
you.
didn't, I missed the meeting on whatever. Thank you.
I do have
Thank
to
you.
do we have to finish the environmental review on that local law, so I'll do
On
that.
which local law?
The a two-family site plan.
Okay, so
So
we're going to do that.
I'll do that now. if you
Okay.
want.
All right, why don't we let TC do his budget presentation, and we'll switch that out? Or no, you need to
When
do
you
that?
want to do it, just let me know
Okay,
before we
okay.
vote on it.
Okay, sure. So that's the environmental form for the 1- and 2-family?
Right.
All right. So TC, you're on.
Are we going to do the comments again after the workshops, if others want to comment?
Sure. Yeah.
Good evening. It's customary in July that we give a semi-annual budget performance report to date for the first 6 months of the year. I emailed you one-page summary, as concise as possible, explaining the status to date of the general and highway funds. Basically, the general fund is operating compared to budget exactly what we planned, except one account as usual. It's the police overtime. It's running above expectations, and we'll have to deal with it month to month as we go. Some of it has to do with the absence of 2 officers out on 207C, I believe. So the overtime is running a little higher than we budgeted. As far as the other counts, they're performing normally. The revenues are performing a little bit above budget, basically due to the mortgage tax. We had a conservative figure in our budget, so the mortgage tax is running about $50,000 year to date above budget, which is good. We did put a conservative figure in it to try to create surplus with one revenue account. The other revenues account are right on the money, but this one is running above expectations, and that's good. The highway fund is running about comparison to budget. Of course, the mild winter was good because we didn't use all the salt. We had made an agreement with the state contract, so we're going to stockpile the remaining available salt for about $75,000. The highway superintendent has come up with a location to stockpile it, so we're going to acquire the rest of the salt under that agreement before August 31st. And of course, the revenues to date in the highway fund is most of the revenues in the highway fund is the tax levy, so we've collected most of that. The fund balance in the highway fund has been fully allocated to the budget, so we can increase, if possible, and return money to the snow reserve fund, so it's operating compared to budget. The special district, as you know, we completed the transfer of all the remaining sewer and water districts in February, so basically you're just left with the debt service in 2 water districts, Greenfield Sewer and Greenbush Water District. And we have the lighting and ambulance district, so that's reduced the financial work considerably for the operating business of the town. You should have attached detailed schedules. You can look them over. If you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me or Joanne for any detail on the accounts. Previously, I had sent you, maybe about a month ago, a synopsis of the last 10 years of our financial operations, which has shown a drastic improvement in the town financial structure. We are going to use that argument hopefully to address our bond rating if we go to the bond market, or if we refund that one bond issue we're contemplating. So be more on that later. But got to congratulate the board that the financial structure of the town is completely turned around from fiscal year 2010 to now. Attached to that synopsis was a schedule showing all the comparable years. You should have also received a long 11 by 17 page which shows capital projects. Do you have that too? We developed a new summary schedule which is tracking what we believe has approved budgets with approved funding to date. So you'll see that the pickup trucks from 2015 on the highway, and then of course the pedestrian improvements project, that only includes what's been authorized to date. Aileen, the supervisor, has asked me about that figure. Of course, that's going to change. This basically only includes phase 1, and then we list the landfill, the land acquisition, police vehicles. So is there anything on here that we consider capital in nature with a life expectancy improvement of 5 years or more? And then of course all the paving projects, etc. So this This is a work in progress. We'll send this to you periodically. If you have any questions on this, again, feel free to contact us. It basically lists the estimated cost, identifies the project, and the sources of funding of each.
Okay.
So,
This is really helpful to have. I appreciate you doing that, because I know it's been kind of just an issue.
yeah, we want to get it in one folder, and there's this form that we sent out to each department head that indicates to them a capital project request. They fill out the estimated cost and send it in to us, and that's what initiates this process. So actually, Forest Drive drainage, I will take off of there now because it's a repair. So it's not really an improvement.
So I see we have the highway patch truck. Can you refresh my memory? Have we authorized?
I believe they are coming in for delivery. Some of the trucks are coming in for delivery. I think it's the 2 pickup trucks finally.
The pickup truck is.
Right, yeah.
Just one from.
Just one?
Just one, yeah. And then, but the highway patch truck, did we authorize?
Yes.
A bonding for
And then we
that?
had to wait out the
Oh,
period.
right.
You're piggybacking on another
On
county
the
contract.
Onondaga County
Right.
bid. So, and that estoppel period
I
has
think that
passed?
has
Yes.
now passed,
Monday.
so.
Monday.
it'll-
Monday.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then what would the next step be then for the?
Well, I believe the purchase order was issued. It's-
Oh, okay.
It's a process of the order being completed by the contractor.
So TC, can I just ask you a question? Is it typical for, a lot of calls that we get are regarding the condition of roads. And so is it typical for the highway super to kind of have a priority list of roads that are, should be identified through either the CHIPS process or, yeah? Would you say that's something that you would commonly do?
Yeah, well, annually, you get a CHIPS update report of all the road mileage, indicates each road in the town, municipality, and the approximate mileage of each road. So there's nothing wrong with him classifying them. And the simplest system I've seen is use A, B, C, the ones that
Yeah.
are in good shape.
So, because, again, it's, we get a lot of requests
Right.
on, this road, it needs repair, and it would just be nice to have that kind of, in a similar document to this, where you knew what the condition of the roads were, so you could expedite that,
Yeah, and then when you discuss your 284 agreement, because right now that's all we're doing is paving roads through the 284 agreement with the CHIPS monies. If and when that we able to free up annual money to do those on an ongoing basis without bonding, then you should have input on what roads, have some sort of a classification
Yeah.
system.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you.
Okay?
Thanks for giving us the update.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for all you do, TC.
Thank you.
Okay, so we should go ahead and do 2 EAFs. We have the solar law, and then the 1 and 2 family dwelling.
Right. So this is just the part 2 of the short environmental assessment form that we have to review and complete tonight. We already adopted the part 1. We determined that it was an unlisted action, so we used the short form environmental assessment form rather than a long form. So I'm just going to go over the questions, and
Sure.
I'm going to suggest an answer, and you tell me if you disagree with any of the answers.
You sound like my husband.
There's no room for debate.
No, he would say, that's what I sound like.
The first, will a proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? And I recommend that the answer be no or small impact.
This is the solar law?
No, this is the 1 and 2 family dwelling.
Two-family dwelling.
Right. 2, will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use in land? And again, no or a small impact, because the change in the intensity of use of land will be a positive, because you're going to have site plan review, but you're not encouraging any more intensity. So I recommend no or small impact.
Okay.
3, will the proposed action impair the quality, character or quality of the existing community? I say no, small impact or no impact, because it will enhance the character of the surrounding community by going through site plan review for these. Will the proposed action have an impact on environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? Again, no, or small or moderate impact. Or will the proposed action result in adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? Again, no, or small impact. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? Again, no, or small impact. Next, number 7, will the proposed action impact existing public or private water supplies or public or private wastewater treatment utilities? Again, no, or small to moderate impact for both. 8, will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? Again, no, or small or moderate impact. 9, will the proposed action result in adverse changes to natural resources, for example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora and fauna? Again, no. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? Again, no. If anything, it will enhance and remedy problems that are identified in the site plan review process. 11, will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources, human health? Certainly not. No. So based on that, I would recommend that we, the town board vote, which is in the resolution. You don't have to vote on it until you get to the resolution. Based upon this information and analysis, that the proposed action will not result in any significant environmental impact.
Okay,
Great.
sounds good.
So,
So are we the lead agency?
we are.
So I sign in both?
What did you, well, you have, yeah, you can sign, I actually prepared it, but that's okay. You can sign both.
Okay.
And then just date that.
And does Donna get this? or-
Yes, Donna gets that.
We have to ask them their opinion.
Okay, we're all set with that.
Okay, and do you want to do the EAF for the 1 and 2 family dwellings as well? Or,
That's what we just did.
or was that the
That's-
that was the
that's-
solar, but the solar law?
Yes, yes, the solar law we're introducing tonight, right? So
No,
that,
we introduced it. in-
Yeah, we introduced that.
Right? Didn't we already?
Yeah.
introduce
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's
I mean, if you don't feel like we have to do it
you
tonight?
know, I don't, yeah, for the solar law, I don't though see that I have part 2 of the AF, that's the problem.
We have the public hearing in August, so we could do it.
Yeah,
then.
let's
we
do
can
it
do it
then.
then. Okay, that
We
probably
don't,
makes more
we
sense
don't,
anyway.
we adopted part 1, but we don't have part 2. Let's do that at the public
Okay.
hearing in August.
Oh, okay, so we'll do that for August. Okay, those who are ready for public comment are in luck.
same time.
Okay, so that's it for the workshops, and so now I'd like to move on to the public comment on resolutions only. So anyone who would like to speak on any of the resolutions that we have before us, or any matter of town business, please join us, and, yeah, of course, yeah, and just state your names. and-
Hi, I'm Douglas Eder. I'm the president of the school board here.
I'm Steve Normeyer. I'm vice president of the school board,
You want to
Welcome.
address 68 Rogers Road?
or 11 Kessler.
Just to show you
Okay,
that we're
great.
paying Hyde Park.
Oh, okay, we're glad.
Watch Kessler Drive.
We'd like to speak in favor of number 12 on the reeval. We believe that this is a good thing for the town and a good thing for the school district. It takes a lot of uncertainty out of our preparation for budgets. Previous to this, when we do our budget and we set the tax levy and the proportion that it's before we know what the actual equalization rate is going to be. And a couple of times we've had problems where it changed, and what we told the public was be their tax rate was no longer true. So to go to 100%, there's still a possibility that there may be slight changes, but it won't be anything like a 6-point swing like we had the last time. So we are very much in favor of this resolution. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I'd like to fill in some details. So for those of us or those who may be watching on TV, an equalization rate is a percentage or a balancing mathematical equation that's applied to make sure that each town is paying equivalent taxes for equivalent properties. And often what will happen is that there will be a change in the equalization rate for Hyde Park, and in recent years it's been changing such that it reflects the fact that Hyde Park valuations on homes has been decreasing. The proportion of Hyde Park in our tax base for the school district is the majority of our tax base. So a small change in that equalization rate makes a very large change in the taxes for the other towns that are part of our district. There was a case where the equalization rate changed 4 or 5 years ago, and Poughkeepsie wound up, the Hyde Park School District folks who live in Poughkeepsie wound up having almost a 20% increase in their real estate taxes or their school taxes as a result of that change. It's our hope that by having a reval, now Hyde Park is evaluated 100% to match the surrounding towns, and we won't see that kind of large swing again. The other reason that I think that this is a great thing for the town is that a few years back I paid close attention to home sales, and as I was doing so, I would look at the statistics, what it was appraised for, what it was assessed for, and what it sold for. And again, this was a random sampling of the sales at that time, by no means complete and by no means statistically factual, but it was a lot of anecdotal evidence that there were some pretty significant differences in how much school tax you were paying, and it looked like many of the more expensive properties were significantly underpaying or being undertaxed at that time, whereas homes that are in the $200,000 to $225,000 range appeared to be slightly overpaying. Now, this is a period of time when home values were coming down, and so the assessments were not coming down as quickly as that. So there are other possible explanations, but the main point that I have here is that I think that by doing this reval, I think that we'll have much better equity in our town, and I think that that's going to help the citizens trust their public officials better. I commend the town board for taking this on. I think that it's important work. I think it's very community oriented to take this on. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your input.
thank you.
I know that the school district has been concerned about this for a number of years. We've had several conversations over the time period, and you know, there is concern on all our parts to in terms of the expenditure. It's a costly thing to do. But is Hyde Park the only district that's not at 100% within the 5 towns? Which, you know, as we've researched it, there's many advantages to being at 100% in terms of fairness and equity. And one of them is that when you're not at 100%, you're not able to alter the value based on what the sales price is. And so that's something I think that you were alluding to, and when you did do just a survey of what things were selling for. But the only thing I am not sure about is the interpretation of the statistical impact of being at a 62% evaluation. My understanding of that, and you know, please anyone else who's knowledgeable on it, feel welcome to jump in. But my kind of understanding of the 62% is really that we are valued at, isn't really in comparison to other towns. It's just in comparison to the values that are achieved in our own town. Would you say that's the case, Warren, or that the equalization rate is not really comparing our values with other towns, because clearly it is the town that you live in does have a tremendous impact. So I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that number, though, is used then to determine the percentage of the total amount of school taxes.
The
that Hyde Park-
equalization rate is
For each town.
for each town.
The equalization rate basically is the determination of the state
Right. The
as
state's
to how
gonna come in
you,
and tell you what the equalization rate
what
is.
percentage of
and what the
fair market
value of your
value
Right.
you are assessing
Right.
properties. Then they use that equalization rate within the school district to equalize the assessments.
Correct.
That's how it
And
works.
it's set that every
Unfortunately, it
year.
changes, though.
So if it's 100%, it's,
It's less likely.
and everybody's within the districts at 100%, it's a better.
So
Well, yeah.
if we're at 62%, that means that you would take all of Hyde Park's values and you would divide it by 0.62, I think is, so anyway, our values would increase to the actual market value. Then you'd take that and figure out how much Hyde Park pays into the school taxes based on that increased value. Is that right?
That's
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. So I may not have explained it clearly or explained myself clearly. It is not a percentage relative to other towns.
Right.
What I did mean to say, though, is that a small change in that, and
Had-
often it changes for Hyde Park when it doesn't change for surrounding towns. So a small change has a big impact.
Right. Right. Understood. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for providing the information and the support, and we'll be talking with you, I'm sure, as we go through the process.
Sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
And just so it's understood, when you do a revaluation, it doesn't mean because you move everything up to 100% of market value, or sometimes they can even be higher than 100% of market value. Doesn't mean that everybody's taxes are going to go up. Usually,
No.
there's about a third of the taxes that will result in an increase, the different change in the assessment, a third that will remain the same, and a third that will go up. And the idea is to achieve parity, equalization among the whole town. So people shouldn't be frightened of it.
Right.
Okay.
Big project.
Dave, did you have?
No, it's just a big project, and it's.
It is, absolutely. And I think the last one was done in '93.
Yes.
So there's certainly a lot of room for us to make improvements to these overall data.
Yeah, and I think the public should be aware of that it's something that government should have done, I think, a long time ago.
I don't see
But this board decided to do it, and there's going to be, a lot of concerns when property values change and your taxes change. So it's not something taken on lightly. It's something that has to be done. It's the function of government, and it's the responsible thing to do. And I'm proud of this board for doing it.
Okay, so you already started.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, so I have to go back to the
Yeah.
environmental assessment form because I made a mistake, so let me just cover that.
Wait, let me see.
Now I understand what
Sure,
happened.
okay.
Yeah. The fog is lifted on the issue in the environmental assessment form on the solar law. The reason why we didn't have Part 2 of the AAF is because we had to adopt Part 1 tonight. That's what was on the agenda for it. That's what I'm saying. Where's
Okay.
Part 2?
That
So,
was in our packet.
so that's in your package. So basically, it's very simple. When you do a local law amendment, you only fill out a very small section of the Part 1 of the environmental assessment form. I've gone ahead and done that, and all we need is a vote tonight from the town board to accept the Part 1 of the environmental assessment form, which we are then going to provide to Dutchess County Planning with our referral on the local law. So I apologize for that.
Okay. So do we need to, you're saying we need to vote on that?
We can just do an oral vote.
Oral
I don't
vote,
see-
okay,
Yeah.
because we don't have that. So
So this is Part 1 EAF
for
for
the
the solar law?
Correct.
Okay. I make a motion that we accept the Part 1 EAF for the solar law.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Sorry for the confusion.
That's okay.
so I need you to sign that, and then give that to Donna.
Okay. There you go. Thank you. Okay, so would anyone else like to, from the public, like to speak? Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to the resolutions.
Resolution 718-1 of 2016, resolution authorizing the highway superintendent to sell or otherwise dispose of excess highway equipment.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye. Resolution 718-2 of 2016, resolution appointing Matthew Martini to the Recreation Commission for a term expiring November 30th, 2022.
Ooh, that sounds incredible. So we have a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and thank you, Matt, for stepping up. Appreciate that. It's going to be a good addition.
Resolution 718-3, 2016, resolution approving budget revisions to the Town of Hyde Park for the period of June 2016, budget revisions number 2016-6.
Second.
And all in favor? Aye.
Resolution 718-4 of 2016, resolution adopting local law D of the year 2016 entitled "A Local Law Amending Chapter 108 of the Town Code relating to one-family and two-family dwellings."
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye. Resolution 718-5 of 2016, resolution receiving proposed local law J entitled Local Law Amending Chapter 108 of the Town Code to provide for the abandonment of certain stale applications before the Town of Hyde Park Planning Board.
Okay. Warren's going to explain this before we...
Okay, this is a very simple local law, but it's been requested by our planning board and by our zoning administrator. We have had situations where applications before the planning board have just lingered before that board for many months, sometimes many years, and the planning board found, and the zoning administrator found that we had nothing in the zoning law which allowed the planning board to require the applicant to move forward or to abandon the application as a stale application. So this local law will remedy that situation. And it's a type 2 action under SEQR, does not require environmental review.
Oh, okay. And so we will set a public hearing for this law, and is it the 18th or the 22nd? It's the next meeting. Okay.
What date?
For the 22nd of August
At 7:05.
at 7:05, yep. Okay. So do I have a second for this law?
Second.
And Emily, you have a question?
We were just talking about whether Dave's going to be here
Oh,
on the 22nd.
oh.
Pretty
So
sure I am.
you may not be here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am.
Oh, you will. We would still have quorum, though, if we have the, because Ken will also not be here
Oh, he
that
won't?
night either.
Right.
Should we
Well, I'll make sure.
postpone it, or?
We can have the public hearing, and then we can put off a vote if we,
Okay.
well, we have to have
Sure.
a quorum for the meeting.
Yeah, no, we'll have a quorum.
make sure.
Yeah, we'll have quorum, so I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah,
So
we could deal
So
with
we
it.
will go ahead and set the public hearing for the 22nd. So can I have a second?
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 718-6 of 2016, resolution adopting local law number G of 2016 entitled Adoption of Amended Zoning District Map of the Town of Hyde Park, New York, in accordance with the requirements of Section 108 of the Town Code.
And can I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 718-7 of 2016, resolution adopting local law H of 2016.
That's the one we pulled.
we pulled
Yeah,
that,
pulled
sorry.
this. And actually, can we just stop briefly and have a conversation regarding the housekeeping item of sending the local laws up to general code at the same time? Remember how we discussed it prior.
Right.
And there was an implication that if we bundled them together, that we could save some money in terms of the process. So we have two tonight, at least two that we've passed. And my understanding is that maybe we should take a second look at that email, but if we bundle them together and send them off, then we can capture some savings. Is there any issue in doing that? Because we should tell Donna if we expect her to do that.
No, we should go ahead and file the local law
File
with the
them.
Department of State. If we can save money with general code, and we can hold on to the local laws and bundle them so they have 2 or 3 at one time, we can do that. But what I'd like to have is something in the, on our website, indicating that these local laws have been passed, are in effect, but they're not going to be reflected necessarily right away in the general code, online E-code. Okay, so people don't go to the E-code and find that.
So could we just do that, post them
Yeah.
as a link on the website and just,
They're on the website now.
but then we
Should
could,
you
we
want me to
could,
leave them on?
well, we could leave them on and
Yeah, everything should be
identify
left on,
them.
Right.
but
and-
people
They'll
should
always
be-
be in the minutes.
People should just be aware that if we are not immediately going to update the general code E-code, that the law is still in effect and they can get a copy of it online or
Now,
whatever.
how many would you like bundled, like?
I think we
I
should
have
find out
2
from them how
tomorrow.
many we really save. If we
Okay.
don't save a lot of money
Okay.
for 2, I don't think it's worthwhile, but if we can save,
Okay.
because they're very expensive.
Yeah,
Well,
there-
this will be the first time as well that we will be emailing them.
Yeah.
Because we send them hard copies.
And that will
I'm
save
assuming
money,
Somebody
too.
has to
Yeah.
transfer it all over.
Why don't we just double check with them and see how much money we
Okay.
save, and then we can make a decision on that.
but we
So I'll
have,
file with the Secretary of
But
State.
definitely
and
go
then
ahead
we'll
with that,
file with
correct.
General code till we decide.
Correct.
Okay?
Okay.
and then, yeah, we can assess how much we'll save by doing that.
Okay.
But we have 2 tonight, we have 2 for August.
Yeah, so we might want
So
to
why
wait
don't
and
we,
do all.
let's see if we can do
Okay.
that, and then we'd send 4 off.
Yeah,
Okay?
hopefully we won't have, I mean, we're kind of cleaning up a bunch of things.
Yeah, we have
in
Yeah.
the
a
last
number
few
of local
months,
laws
so,
that we're
yeah.
passing.
Yeah, okay, good.
On the website, you might want to have, I think it's on the planning or zoning page where it has the link to E-code to find our code. Like, that's probably where a note should be,
Yeah.
that, right.
Yeah.
Mhm. So maybe, is Steve still posting for us, or sometimes?
Yeah, I'm not able to post on each department's
Right,
page, but I
okay.
can post on the main page.
And then maybe, so we could let Steve know that's where we want it, on the planning page, is that where you said
Wherever
the
you would
zoning?
go to find the
Yeah.
whole code, like,
Mhm.
that's where you'd want to have
Okay,
the note.
right, sure, of course.
And it'll always be in the minutes.
Okay,
So-
but we want to let the public
Right.
know that they can find the most current version right on the web.
And I often do, when I research in other towns' code, often you'll check their website, and you'll find that they passed local laws that have not yet, and you'll have that information there. And
Okay?
So
All
you want me
right?
to do 8?
Yeah, sure, please.
Resolution 718-8 of 2016, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to execute a contract with CALLANAN Industries for blacktopping, NUNC Pro Tunc.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 718-9 of 2016, resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a lease agreement with the Hyde Park Central School District for the Senior Citizen Center at Hyde Park Elementary School.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And thank you to the school district for working with us
Thank you.
on that. It's a great improvement to our program.
Resolution 718-10 of 2016, resolution approving the issuance of a hawking and peddling license to Mr. Ding-A-Ling's Ice Cream Truck.
And second?
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 718-11 of 2016, resolution approving the issuance of a hawking and peddling license for VARGAS dogs.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 718-12 of 2016, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to accept Tyler Technologies' proposal for the Town of Hyde Park's town-wide reassessment project.
Second.
just a clarification on that. Even though that's the caption, the substance of the resolution really indicates that we're going to be negotiating a final contract with them, so we're not quite there yet on the contract.
Right. And,
Second.
and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolution 718-13 of 2016, resolution approving alcohol use at the Hyde Park Rotary's Horseshoe Tournament at Hackett Hill Park.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye. Resolution 71814 of 2016, resolution authorizing the enhancement of the Dinsmore Park gazebo by volunteers David Jordan and family.
Second?
And all in favor?
Aye.
And Emily, did you,
Yeah,
it's your
I
ward.
think it's a lovely project. David and Jen Jordan reached out to me. They wanted to make an improvement to the gazebo. It's there in memory of Charlie Kendall, who was a Stoutsburg resident, and they would like to make some improvements to it
Very
on
nice.
their own initiative. So
Yeah,
it's a
it's
nice
really-
thing to do for the community.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing to do, especially in Charlotte. I knew Charlie well, and he did an awful lot of work for Statsburg. It's very nice.
Oh, that's so nice. Okay, and I just want to give a shout out to Diane Cullen for the 4th of July parade, as well as the Memorial Day parade. I actually was not here, I was away, but heard it was fantastic.
was.
And I know Diane really goes above and beyond to really attract a lot of lively bands and just a lot of coordination, so thank you, Diane.
Yeah, I heard a lot of compliments on the July 4th, but I think especially also the Memorial Day parade, when we all woke up and it was pouring rain and we couldn't believe that Diane made the call to have the parade go on anyway. She made the right call because
Yeah, she
the
did.
rain stopped, and it's a tough job and she does it well.
That's absolutely. Okay.
I don't know if we voted on that last one.
The Dinsmore Park, okay, did we, Tom?
Yes.
Oh, we did?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Too bad.
we got a, yep, we did.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, good, no problem. Okay, so, does anyone have any additional items to discuss, or? No, good,
Not tonight.
okay. All right, so may I have a motion to adjourn,
So moved?
and a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
So Emily, I have a legal question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gee, no, charge him. Make sure you get your fee.
I was doing a crossword puzzle on the other contract.
No contract
What's the
yet, we're
number?
just authorized to negotiate the contract.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
well,
11. So
I don't